fierce rally, this. Both players really hitting the ball hard.
Égalité.
Courier inside the baseline, wanting to attack. But look at that backhand from Korda. Using the speed of Courier's forehand. It's a blistering winner.
Avantage Courier.
So another break point. It's the 5th in this game. A long game too. After 6 deuces.
Égalité.
Well, no doubt at all who has the crowd support.
Avantage Courier.
Well, what a wonderful game of tennis that was. Full of flashing winners from this exciting Czech left-hander that's really got this crowd going today. But Courier was asked about that. He knew the sort of opponent he was facing, and he said, what are you going to do if the crowd really get behind him like they got behind Leconte? He said, I'm just going to play my shots and get on with it.
Courier, change of tactics here. He feels he stayed around the baseline too long. Perhaps that approach shot was just a little bit too short, but could he expect such a fine forehand as that? It was a wonderful shot.
S'il vous plaît.
Courier is
0-30.
normally the most calm and collected of competitors, but he's playing against an awkward opponent today, against whom nothing is certain. You never quite know what's coming next. So 3 break points against the defending champion. To a rising crescendo of support
0-40.
for Korda. Yes, he thought that the ball was out in the middle of that rally, did Courier.
15-40.
Experienced campaigner that he is, he went on playing. He's learnt to control himself, and that's why he has become such a fine match player. The winner of 4 tournaments this year, beginning with that fine Grand Slam win in Australia against Edberg. So this third ace, beautifully struck, again to the forehand side, catching Korda, who usually is expecting something sliced out wide to the backhand, catching him by surprise. 2 break points saved.
S'il vous plaît, mesdames et messieurs, tout petit peu de s'il vous plaît. Merci. Pot.
And that not called by the line official, but by Bruno Ribot, the umpire. So a glorious moment for Korda, breaking his opponent's serve for the 2nd time in the match.
Well, a vicious forehands to Courier's backhand, struggling to maintain his balance and control of the racket head. Decides to put up the lob, a good tactic into the sun, but really not quite deep enough. And that really was a superb game by Korda, and turned the match round. Let's another look at that forehand. The whole body going into the ball. He weighs 160 pounds, but his timing is absolutely superb. Positions himself well and really throws his racket head at that ball to punish the smash. Perhaps a little bit fortunate in a sense to be leading in this 2nd set, having saved 5 break points in the 2nd game.
Because he's having to take terrific risks, isn't he, to win points and hit so hard. I wonder if he can continue.
Yes, John, I mean, he's really playing on the knife edge, isn't he? He's using Courier's pace, and the great thing that he is able to do is suddenly he ups the tempo, increases the pace almost from nowhere. He just speeds the racket head through the ball, and suddenly the ball comes like a rocket, disarming for Courier, surprising him.
Unforced and forced errors there. The 2 men. More, of course, for Korda. Well, I think we promised you some exciting points from this Czech man who reminds me so much of Rod Laver. I mean, that could have been a Laver backhand down the line, couldn't it? Ranked 8 in the world. He's caught a marvellous climb, really.
15-30.
Not phased at all here, Courier. This is one of his greatest shots, that inside-out forehand.
Ooh, dear, oh dear.
15-40.
I'm afraid the pack of cards sometimes does come tumbling down, or the house of cards, rather. But it's glorious stuff when it's all going well. Double fault number 4. I have lost one somewhere. I think it's 5 now. Well, rather typical of what sometimes happens to this fellow, who has to play at full stretch, he knows, today, if he's going to make any impression on the man who is probably the most secure at the back of the court of any of the top 10 players just at the moment. So the advantage lost.
And after that point, Courier took command. He won the second set 6-2, and indeed Peter Korda won only one more game before Courier here with a chance. He was serving for the match at 5-1 in the third set. And the point, the match, and the French Open title for Jim Courier, 7-5, 6-2, 6-1. He received the trophy from Jean Barotra, Courier becoming the first player for 5 years to successfully defend his French Open singles title. And like Monica Seles, she's halfway to the Grand Slam, having won the Australian Open title earlier this year. Jim Courier, the French Open champion.
He had the same record.
Fierce rally this, both players really hitting the ball hard.
Égalité.
Courier inside the baseline, wanting to attack. But look at that backhand from Korda, using the speed of Courier's forehand. It's a blistering winner.
Avantage Courier.
So another break point. It's the 5th in this game.